hearing great things about Ghost of Tsushima, how it is one of PlayStation's best games, and after Yotei and really loving the combat, I wanted to give it a try, and I'll be honest, I think I like Tsushima more than Yotei. Jin's story and the gameplay felt like they just moved seamless together. Story affected gameplay and gameplay story. There were just certain things that I wondered, where was this in Yotei? I will eventually compare these two games, really testing which one is better, but let's get into Ghost of Tsushima. Inspired by real historical events and samurai movies of the past, Ghost of Tsushima is a story of a samurai saving his island from the Mongols, the conquering force trying to invade Japan in 1274. Jin Sakai, the protagonist, a samurai following an iron code instilled by his uncle, his mentor, father figure, who he looks up to, the person whose words hold more weight than gold, Lord Shimura. Jin is a good person. In his heart, he wants to protect the people of this land. After witnessing his father's death and feeling powerless to do anything, he had virtues instilled by his uncle, fighting with honor and looking your opponent in the eye as you cut them down. It showed the people of the island there was still order when it was overrun by bandits. But this enemy is not bandits fighting haphazardly. This is a trained, invading military force. The Mongols, led by Khotan Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan. 80 samurai versus hundreds and thousands of Mongols. Komoda Beach, massacre of samurai. Their code and honor does not work against such oppressive forces, a force that has studied their tactics and ways to crush them. Jin being one of the only survivors, Lord Sakai, the last samurai. A woman named Yuna saves Jin. She knows how to fight, but not in the way Jin feels is right. He follows hers, but he says, we're sneaking around like thieves. There's no honor. But he knows Yuna is right, as he would die if he went out into the open without his sword. Soon retrieving this weapon, his fight with the Mongols continued. At the beginning, you can't really do stealth. Jin is still walking right into enemy lines, yelling,
"Face me, invader!"
That is the only way he knows how to fight. Well, Yuna is obviously horrified by him announcing his presence and is doing this to protect people, as that is his role in life. Fighting like a samurai even if you are surrounded. His form and strikes are clean, accurate, honorable. As his uncle said, any fool can stab someone in the back, but it takes a warrior to fight head on. What I saw as Jin lets a lot of these things go, it becomes a lot easier to do anything. Right now, all I can do is block, parry, dodge, and strike. Even though it's the tutorial, I feel restricted, like I'm holding back. Yes, it's to teach you, but it feels like Jin could do so much more. Now, it's still fun parrying and slicing people open. It can never get boring, especially when perfect parry is unlocked. I actually find it fun to have multiple enemies around me having to parry back and forth, getting small cuts in while I wait for another opening. Unless there are archers, whenever I hear. They are the first target every time. I also did start on lethal, and having to play perfect as every hit kills makes you really think about every move you're doing. I may throw a heavy, but get skewered by a spear trying to attack someone else. Jin, whether it be by anger, duty, or revenge, made it to the castle Khotan Khan was at. And as loud as he could, announces himself.
Khotan Khan!
Just why? He can't let go of his honorable way. But Jin is a fly to Khotan Khan, barely doing anything to him. and losing again. But see, the Khan wants to use him, break him. But Jin is unwavering, cutting him and making the Khan show his true colors, an angry brute as he throws him off a cliff. Jin feels like he has failed, but this is not the first time. Once, when he watched his father die, second at the beach, and now this. He is the most vulnerable and broken.
Father.
But he keeps his promise to Yuna, as he said he would help her free her brother if she helped him try and free his uncle. At a camp with Mongol prisoners, there is a chance Yuna's brother is there. Jin, as he does, wants to walk straight in and announce himself to a gang of Mongols. But is stopped. Yuna has seen Mongols kill prisoners when someone tries to break them out. So this has to be done quietly, without honor. A assassination. Jin is already broken, so he's willing to attempt it. And it's grotesque, slow, painful, and hard. Jin feels almost ashamed remembering his uncle and the past, but continues on. He does see the good it causes as it frees the prisoner and helps the people. Ultimately, he chooses the people of this island above his honor, losing one in the process, but protecting the other. I was kind of surprised you had to unlock stealth kills, but it does make a lot of sense. And struggles with that idea. And now you can clear out Mongol camps with ease. The thing is though, for me, I always get like 2 or 3 stealth kills and get got. Or I just say F it and do standoffs. Since early on in the game, I made sure I got the ability to get a 3 standoff streak, and I do that every time. It's one of my favorite parts of the game because I'm bad at stealth. Also, late game, I got the ability to stand off against 5 people, and I did that every single time. It just feels so good. I did find when enemies try to feint, watch their feet, as that was the best indicator for me to know when they actually move. Jin has a mission to save his uncle and defeat the Mongols, but as I saw, he can't do it alone. He knows of 2 allies, Lady Masako and Sensei Ishikawa. He also still needs to save Taka and hears of a Ronin group called the Straw Hats, all allies that can help in the upcoming battle. Exploring the first area, Izuhara, is also just about helping people. Mongol camps, prisoners, and other events unrelated to either. But it's important to do these things as it increases the legend. More people Jin helps and Mongols Jin kills, the more skill points I earn, making Jin more powerful, and clearing out Mongol camps unlocks more sword stances, which allows Jin to do better against different enemy types. The spears, shields are just the big boys. If the legends fully increases, you unlock ghost weapons, throwables that Jin thinks of combining Mongol black powder and other items. I like the idea of the more fights Jin gets into, the more people begin to spread the story of the ghost, but he learns how to deal with weapons he's not used to, or use more tools that helps him defeat enemies faster and quieter. The more he fights, the better he gets. It encourages me to help every person I see. It does get me though when I've been doing 3 hours of side quests and I go, okay, time for the main story. And then I see someone getting robbed by the Mongols. I mean, I can't just leave them alone. That would be dishonorable. I quickly clear them out, and then the NPC goes, oh, hey, there's this camp over here. Fine. I like finding Sensei Takahashi and Lady Masako, as it starts their quest that you follow through the story of the entire game. Takahashi has a student that betrayed him and is now teaching the Mongols the bow, and Lady Masako had her whole family slaughtered. Ishikawa also teach me the bow, the first long-form weapon. I needed this as it helps clear out archers from far away so much easier and so reliably, or just headshot someone up close. I chose to find the Straw Hats as the next main mission, and I just love Ryozo. He is loyal to his men and fights for them. And he's an old friend of Jin. I bet he'll be a great ally and helpful friend for the entire game. Jin seems so relaxed around Ryuzo. It's just the right thing he needed in this moment after seeing all his other friends die on the beach. He needed someone to bring him back to the world. And lastly, freeing Taka. He has been captured by the Mongols. A friend slash swindler, Kinji, helps get us in. He was selling sake to the Mongols. Jin at the start of the game is always angry when he hears people working with the Mongols. But as it goes on, he sees these are normal people just needing to live. They're gonna do what they have to. Once inside, we sneak past, assassinate the guard, driving further into the ghost and further from honor every step. He sees it might be the only way to save this island. He tried honor twice, and it failed him. And this is working so much easier. Taka makes Jin a grappling hook so he can traverse the castle, holding Shimura. At this point in the game, I'm clearing the camps and standoffs easily. Any Mongols I saw, I had every ghost weapon from kunai, smoke bombs, hand bombs, bells, and sticky bombs. Just small tools to distract or get quick kills. There's also some other abilities achieved through mythical quests, longer quests that invoke a lot more steps, like finding a man obsessed with a certain technique. But everything is ready. Jin has his allies, partners, new skill. He is ready for Shimura Castle. Everyone is there, except the Straw Hats and Ryuzo. But trust me, they'll make it. Ryuzo would never. He'll make it, right? With this small army, everything seems to be going great. Clearing right through Mongols, right under their nose. But of course, it was too easy. Ryozu switched sides. His loyalty to his men was stronger than anything else, as the Mongols offered food, money, and purpose. Jin tries hard to convince him, and I was distraught, but he knows even if he helps Shimura, they'll just be sent to death. I was in denial. I thought if I just played perfectly, if I just showed him that I could parry everything he could do, he would just give up. He would just see that my side is right. But there was no doing that. The introduction to the Ronin enemy, a faster and stronger sword user who is quicker and more precise with the blade, clean cuts just like then, and unblockables with strict timing. But I had to cut Ryuzo down. Just like me, Jin was in denial that he couldn't finish his friend off. And that led to anger. The Mongols take more and more every day, and Jin's friends, we tried bargaining, pleading with him, but all that's left is the anger. I actively felt myself pressing these buttons harder, like mashing triangle for posture breaks. Before, everything was just professional, business. It's just war. Now it feels more personal. And because of this, Jin dives even deeper into the ghosts, doing many things a samurai would never do, all to free Lord Shimura. He's proud of his nephew, but also trying to reinstall an honorable code, reminding Jin not to falter. That means we prepare for a new battle further north. At this moment in the game, Jin is in a hard place. He promised Yuna safe passage away from the island, but Shimura has a stipulation. I understand both sides. Yuna feels the samurai are using her for what they want, but Shimura is also in war. He can't just get ships from mainland Japan with a snap of his fingers. But to really bring the fight to Khoton Khan, Shimura asks for more samurai from the mainland with the help from a pirate, and also tells Jin to get his family's clan armor and see if they can get help from the Yakashira clan that rebelled and lost their standing, but still a strong group of warriors. Yakashira is a dark place for Yuna. She seemed to protect Taka, her brother, from all the hardship. Learning Yuna's past hit me really hard. Like, nothing was ever implied, but it was known what happened. I like in this chapter, Taka picks up the sword. He wants to fight. Yuna refuses as she's always protecting her brother from everything. But Taka is inspired by Jin and everyone fighting, so he wants to help. He may not be as strong or as skilled, but he's braver than most. And Jin didn't just inspire him, he inspired the whole Combine to fight back, as before they were too willing to hold the past, their hatred for Shimura, never willing to help. But they are willing to help the Ghost, as he helped them and showed even if they are ordinary people, they can still fight back. They may not be samurai, but they are
Warriors.
At the same time, Jin slips more into the Ghost, unlocking Ghost Dance. The Mongols begin to think he is invincible and run in fear, giving him free kills. Jin also becomes more brutal at this point, as one of the ways to unlock this in gameplay is to slaughter war generals, not assassinate. Every stealth kill before was assassinate. Kill them as quickly and quietly as possible. Slaughter is to show fear. And when he just quickly slices off their head in a blink of an eye, if I saw that, I'd be terrified. But slipping more and more from honor. Before he was almost offended when people called him the Ghost, but now he fully accepts that title. The second mission I did was trying to get more samurai from the mainland. The pirate that we needed help from instantly agrees as he owes a big debt to Shimura. In this mission, Shimura showed Jin that it may be possible to win honorably. To clear a giant Mongol camp running head first and announcing yourself to your opponent, whenever Jin said, "Oh yeah, we can win if we free Shimura," I never believed him, but seeing this, Shimura's got that. What a father figure to Jin. He believes in him so much, he is willing to formally adopt Jin, which would make Jin the new Lord Shimura and head of the island. He had so much trust and respect for Jin. The final mission is reclaiming the Sakai clan armor. I love how the whole game Jin feels a weight by his father's legacy. And he wasn't able to save him. He feels responsible for his death. And I think that's why he's slipping so much into the Ghost, as if he was like how he was now, his father would have never had to die. But the more he slips into the Ghost, the more brutal he gets. His old caretaker is almost horrified by how swift and brutal he kills. Facing his past, Jin wears his family's armor, truly donning and being Lord Sakai. But on the same side as the Ghost, he wants blow darts, one of the most brutal ways of killing someone. Seeing what this did to someone even horrified me watching, and I was the one who did it. Now, when I saw the perks of the Sakai armor, I don't think I need stealth anymore. Fully upgraded gives 2 extra standoff kills. That is 5 kills. That kills most garrisons and clears out half a camp so quickly. Honestly, I might be able to do this honorably. This whole chapter, Jin has been on a fence, slipping more and more into the Ghost while at the same time slipping back into his honor by working with Shimura and wearing his armor. One bad thing, one event, will send him over to the other side. I think if things keep going well, Jin will see his uncle is right. Fighting with honor might be the way. But one bad day, one misstep, Jin will fully plunge to the Ghost. That event could be what Jin is meant to do next. Kill Ryuzo, his old friend. I was thinking, can Jin really do that? I like that he asked Yuna for help with this. He is having to kill his oldest friend and he's asking help from the person he currently trusts the most. Yuna is leaving for the mainland. As promised, she no longer has any ties here. Fully understanding, as a samurai, he has been taught to always be in control of his emotions. But you can see how hurt this makes him. Trying to infiltrate, Taka comes along. Taka, you should not be here. But he does good and gets away safely. I feel like something really bad was going to happen, but luckily I was wrong. Ryuzo tries to reason with Jin, join the Khan.
Like that would ever happen.
Of course, this was all a trap for Jin, capturing him, and also, oh, no, I was right. The Khan's whole goal this time has been to break the samurai, get the people of this island to join them. He says he understands the samurai, the people, by learning their language. But the more and more I see of the Khan, the more and more I see someone who just has no idea the people he is talking to, spouting, "I just want peace," while also subjugating and sending thousands to death. A shallow hypocrite that Jin easily sees through. Unfortunately, he is the one in control, giving Taka the choice. Kill the ghost, and you run free. Taka should have never come back. At this point, there was no other fate. And exactly like I said, one action would send Jin fully over to the ghost. And I think the death of Taka, someone he saw grow braver and braver every encounter, wanting to help in any way he could, a true friend to Jin, die right in front of his eyes, broke him. Going on a spree, ending all the Straw Hats right there. And Yuna comes seeing her brother's death. I hated how when Jin initially escaped, they just left the body there. You can just see his severed head. But the final detriment for both. Jin and Yuna will now work together to defeat the Khan, as Yuna no longer has any reason to leave. All she wanted to do was protect her brother, but now what is there to protect? All that is left is to fight. Shimura plans one final assault on the castle. The samurai from the mainland are here. One thing that got me though is these samurai were talking, restore the shogun's order, as if the people didn't matter at all. The assault is hopefully the final mission. Shimura sees the ghost in full action, poison, slaughtering the enemy, and Shimura is horrified at Jin's actions, seeing how far his nephew is taking it. But on the other side, Shimura seems that he'd rather let lives die in his code of honor, duty, and tradition. They get tricked at the bridge and it blows up, and his idea is to rebuild the bridge while the builders are actively getting shot at. I agree with Jin in this moment, urging his uncle that rebuilding the bridge will just lead to more death. But I disagree with the method Jin took. He proceeds with a plan to poison the Mongols' food while they eat it. Jin and Shimura here are two sides of the same coin. Shimura will let people die in the name of honor, tradition, and duty, but I don't think Jin realizes that if he starts poisoning the enemy, what do you think they will start doing? Which we see in Act 3, but the end of the game shows this duality so much better. Jin does confront Ryuzo, finally. I still honestly want to give him a second chance, but he does have to surrender. He can't just play both sides hoping that things will go his way. He made his decision. He could have been on Jin's side earlier, but he chose to be a traitor. And that means he needs to be put down. He fights exactly the same as earlier, which is an easy takedown. I was hoping, just maybe, I didn't have to. I was not fighting as hard, but Ryuzo's actions directly led to Taka's death. So all that is left for him is nothing. He betrayed his friends, expecting to be welcomed back when he lost. Though, because Jin disobeyed and I guess committed a war crime, I don't really understand why someone is getting arrested and killed for this. Jin is put up for trial. Shimura tries everything as his dream, just like the formal letter of adoption, burns up in flames. Jin has taken things too far, and he would never put the blame on someone else, as when Shimura tries to blame Yuna in his denial of Jin's actions, trying to make Jin deny what he has done. And personally, I agree. Seeing how horrifying the poison is, I think Jin did go too far. But it is wrong to try and blame someone else for this misstep that Jin did all on his own. But in prison, Jin is left to wait. Of course, my favorite swindler, Kenji, is here to save us. And on to the north. Now, what I haven't actually really talked about is how the difficulty goes. The Mongols stay exactly the same. Sword, shield, spear, and brute, and archers. But as they go on, they typically just get more moves, new unblockable, or fire. In this area, poison. I like how you can tell the level by the armor. I think that's just a cool detail. It's like generals in war. At this point in the game, enemies are getting cleared through. A good standoff and a smoke bomb into a triple assassination, and Jin is so swift, becoming skilled in assassinations. It's cool to see as the game goes on, he gets faster at it. He used to like have to struggle, hold their mouth, stab them 3 or 4 times before they went down. But now he just gets one stab in and moves on like it's nothing. In exile, but Jin is not alone. Rallies some allies for one final raid on the Khan. The Khan is trying to leave this island. He has seen that he has done everything he can here, but also taking the poison that Jin made to the mainland. Jin knows he needs to finish this before things get worse. He does send a final letter to his uncle for some support infiltrating. I like the contrast of showing how both sides can be wrong. Also right. The samurai talked about how merchants and peasants have begun using poison on fellow citizens, but at the same time more people rally to the ghost as he is actively helping people, while the samurai care more about honor and tradition. They see the samurai taking too long. It will be too late before they take action, but the ghost acts now. Final confrontation, the Khan. The only boss I didn't hold back. For every mainline boss in this game, I always had this part of me that was holding back each fight. With Ryuzo in the final boss, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want it to have to be that way. But the Khan? Oh, it ends tonight. What I did see, and this is for every boss, Jin will not use shinobi tools during boss fights. You can't use them. It's impossible. So one-on-ones, it's showing that Jin still is showing honor. Now, the unblockables the Khan was doing felt unhonorable. The Khan is this big man, and you see that in his swings, and they are surprisingly fast. Now, even if Jin fought with honor, does not mean that the Khan will. Poisoning Jin, lucky for us, this is not the first time dealing with poison. Breaking free and chasing the Khan. But here, the Khan hides behind his men. Every time the ghost pushes forward, he makes his men do all the dirty work. Shows his hypocrisy. He talks of peace, but allows his men to commit such violent acts. But his whole goal was to be remembered, not to be a shadow under Genghis Khan. But when Jin finishes him, he tells him he will die forgotten. In one final confrontation, Jin did all of this to save the island. He forsake so much. And he says he would do it again in a heartbeat, and I believe him. But there are consequences to this, as he rides with his uncle one final time as his nephew. He learns of all the consequences. The people are rallying and creating their own war group. And Shimura makes a good point. Jin taught people to disobey their leaders. Now, I'm not saying that is wrong. Sometimes you do need to disobey your leaders. What does happen when you teach this? More and more rebellions occur? Do people start fighting with each other? Which is exactly what the Khan wanted. But there is a price. The ghost head is now wanted by the shogun for his action. And Shimura is the one who is forced to take it. One final day with his surrogate son, and it's one final day of beauty for Shimura. He tells Jin he has no honor. He gave poison to the Mongols. He killed brutally, while Jin says Shimura is a slave to the honor. They both fought for this island and its people. There was one scene where it showed them helping a man move his cart. Even though it was something as small as pushing a cart, they want to help people. But in this war, one held steadfast to his ideals, never budging an inch. And in the end, it led to thousands of deaths. While one who completely broke all codes of honor, all ideals, and it did save so many. But when taken too far, it led to the same thing. More death of those undeserving. But this fight can be broken down to all the nuances of honor and protecting people and justifying Jin's actions or justifying Shimura's actions. But what it truly is a father and son having to say goodbye. The tears and sadness in Shimura. It seemed like he was holding back in this boss fight. I've seen this man clear through Mongol camps like it was nothing, with just Jin. But on the same time, I was holding back. Not striking as much as I should, maybe delaying my dodges. I didn't want this fight, but it had to happen. Jin doesn't fully understand the battle either, blinded a little bit. Asking, is this your revenge? This is no revenge for Shimura. This is a punishment. Having to kill his own nephew he raised as a son? Having to put him down? But it's exactly what Jin said. Shimura is a slave to his honor. He would kill his own nephew under his honor code. But I don't think that's the case. What's funny is I think Shimura wanted to lose. But that leaves two choices. Spare or kill him. I can't kill Shimura. He was there when Jin needed him, raised him, trained him. He's a warrior, a mentor, a father. But I think not choosing to kill Shimura is the canon choice. As he told Jin, Jin has no honor, so he cannot give an honorable warrior's death. I think Shimura wanted to die to Jin's hands, feeling as if he failed his nephew. But there looks to be almost a smile when Jin spares him, some happiness that he failed to kill his nephew. He may never be able to see him again, but knowing he's alive is enough. But from this day, Jin Sakai dies, and the ghost of Tsushima is born. I think I honestly like Ghost of Tsushima more than Yotei. It may have more simple combat and gameplay, but the story and how it progressed with the gameplay, the more Jin falls into the ghost, the more you unlock, and a game making me not want to fight the main bosses, having me wish that it could have gone some other way. And there's a whole DLC expansion island I haven't even touched on, as I mainly wanted to look at the main game in context alone. But even with that, there's so much main game content. All the mythic quests, the 145 Tales of Tsushima. I really want to see now after playing Tsushima which one is better, Ghost of Yotei or Ghost of Tsushima. But that will be for another day and another video.